the class. Students, previously I have asked you two questions. That is, why there is a difference in sunrise and sunset timing each day, and what is the role of the sun in changing climate and the weather. And today I hope you think at least some of the reasons, because when we are studying science, it is very important that you question every phenomena, that why it is happening or how. So if you didn't think about any other reason, so let us find out in this video. So today we will be learning that the role of sun in changing the weather. So the energy that earth receives from the sun is the basic cause of our changing weather. Okay? Any change in weather of a place on the earth is because of the sun, which radiates large amount of heat and light energy on the earth. Isn't? Then the formation of winds, the phenomena of rainfall, and the change in season all occur because of the sun, because of the water cycle, evaporation, rainfall, all things happen in a cyclical way. So everything depends on the sun, right? So next one is the effect of sun in changing the climate. So this one is changing the weather, and this one is the effect of the sun in changing the climate. Now look at here, look at the picture. Okay, this is our earth, right? This is the north pole, this is the south pole, and this part is the equator, as we all know. So the angle at which sunlight strikes the earth varies by location, time, etc. Of course it varies by the location, because earth has a tilted axis and earth's orbit is not round, isn't it? So the distance between sun and the earth varies. Okay, so due to the earth's orbit around the sun and its rotation round its tilted axis, this is the reason. At and near the equator, that is the low latitude, the sun rays hit Earth's surface almost vertically. All year long causes hot climate. At the poles, that is high altitude, in this place sun rays hardly reaches. That's why those places are the coldest place, and equator is the warmest place. So of course in here the climate will be warm or hot, and in here the climate will be cold. Alright, so now you understand the effect of sun in changing the climate. Our next topic is climate and adaptation. Now the climate of a place can affect the living organism of that area. The animals living in a particular region adapt themselves so that they can survive the weather condition of that place. The feature and habits of the animals start to change as per the climate of the place. Next few slides we are going to understand what is the meaning of these lines. Alright, so climate and adaptation of animals. Climate has profound effect on all living organisms. Adaptation can be defined as the modification of all living organisms on its parts in order to make it more fit for survival under the changed environmental conditions. Or we can say that the adjustment shown in structure, physiology, behavior, etc. of an organism to changed environmental conditions is referred to as adaptation. Animals living in very cold climate and very hot climate should have special features to protect them from heat and cold, isn't? Otherwise, they are not able to survive. They will die and their entire species will die if suppose we don't know how to protect ourselves during the winter time, so what will happen? If we live in a very cold place like the Antarctic, what will happen then? Then we will eventually die after a few time. So that time we need to protect ourselves from the cold climate. So we need to modify ourselves, isn't? So we will find out that what will be the modification that the animals are adapting to survive in those cold places. So adaptation is of two types. They can be behavioral and they can be structural. Adaptation usually occur over a long period of time. It is a very long and lengthy process like our evolution. Adaptation will take time. And gradually animals and gradually human beings as well, we adapt to our environment. Suppose you are going to a new place. Can you adjust over there? No, you can't. You have to adapt by staying over there for few years or so. After that, you'll know how to survive there. So behavioral adaptation is moving of animals in large group is called the behavioral adaptation. It helps to protect the group member from the predators. Suppose birds calls and migration. Bird always migrate in a large group. Next one is the structural adaptation. The change in body structure of animal is called the structural adaptation. It helps to protect it against the cold weather. The bill on a bird, the fur on a polar bear. Look at here. How many types of beak you can see? Numerous, right? Why each bird's beak is different in shape and structure? Because of the food habit. All the birds, they have different food habits, so they need to adapt themselves according to the food they are intaking. That is why it's different. Like suppose this bird, okay, its food habit is to catch the fish. That is why it evolved like that, to scoop up the fish. So different birds, they have different food habit. That's why they adapt themselves accordingly. Next one is the polar regions. The polar regions are very cold for most parts of the year, and these regions are covered with snow. The temperature are as low as minus 37 degrees centigrade. For 6 months the sun does not rise, and for other 6 months the sun does not set. So just imagine how harsh the weather condition is there. Some of the animals found in the polar regions are polar bears, seals, penguins, musk oxen, reindeers, foxes, whales, Siberian crane, and many types of fishes, etc. Next one is the adaptation of polar bear. They have white fur so that they are not easily visible in the snow and helps in catching their prey. They have 2 layers of fur to protect them from the extreme cold climate. They have a layer of fat under the skin which also protect them from the cold. Okay, that fatty layer is called the blubber. Now their paws are wide and large, which help them to walk on the snow and to swim in the water. They have a strong sense of smell which help them to catch their prey. Next one is the polar bear's adaptation. So polar bears, that its predator and prey are unable to see it. The white fur is not easily visible in the snowy white background. It has a very strong sense of smell, I have told you already. It helps the bear to locate and catch its prey. Now also it has long, carved and sharp claws. These help it to walk on the ice, to grasp the ice properly. Okay, otherwise it will be very slippery to walk on an ice layer. it has a layer of fat under its skin, I have told you, and that fat insulates its body from cold and keeps it warm. This fatty two-layer thick fur coat actually work as an insulator. Okay, that is why the atmospheric cold temperature doesn't affect them that much. Next one is the penguins. Penguins are aquatic, flightless birds living almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere, especially in the Antarctica. Alright, so adaptations of penguins. They have white colored bodies so that they are not easily visible in the snow. So these all are adaptation because of they don't want to get caught by their predator species. Alright, so they have thick skin and a lot of fat to protect them from the cold. They huddle together to keep them warm. That means they just closely compactly stay together. They have streamlined body and webbed feet which help them to swim in the water. Okay, look at the picture. They have this kind of webbed feet like the duck. Okay, that is why they can swim easily. Heavy and solid bones make penguins heavier to help them to dive underwater for food. That means they search their food, so they dive under the water. Now look at these pictures. So these are the reindeers. They also have a thick fur layer which works as a insulator. Next there is a fox. They are the Arctic fox. Next one is the seal. They have also a thick fatty layer that is also called the blubber. And there is whales as well. They also have the adaptive features. Look at this picture. So this is the Manx oxen. This animal also has a thick fur layers, isn't? Next one is the function of fur. So what are the function of the fur? It can protect the animal. Okay. Next one is waterproofing. So it partially protect them from the rain. Next is camouflaging. Camouflaging means it can help them to hide from the predators. So camouflage is something that is called blending. So they blend with the surrounding, which help them to protect themselves from the predators. Next one is to maintain a constant body temperature. That means the fur will protect them from the harsh climate, and that means fur is basically an insulating blanket to the animals. So what is it? An insulating blanket. Alright. Next one is the polar birds. Polar birds are like the Siberian crane. Okay. So what happened? This is the Siberian crane and this is the Arctic tern. These are the two different kind of species, and they are also migratory birds. The seasonal movement of the complete population of animal from one area to another is termed as migration. That means migration means a natural urge. It can occur if there is a scarcity of the food or shelter. So what the birds do? They actually fly from one place to far away place, and that is called the migration. The birds in polar regions cannot tolerate extreme cold of the winter because of they don't have the blubber, that means the fatty layer. It is absent in them, but in order to survive, they must do something. So they adopt a behavioral character which is known as the migration. I have already mentioned there is two type of migration, behavioral and structural. So this one is the behavioral type of migration. So now you understand that adaptation is completely depending upon the environmental conditions. Isn't? So, this is all for today. Next day we will learn about some examples of migratory birds, and we will also discuss about a very interesting thing, that why birds migrate. You will find that in this kind of chart there is some information for you. Read it once. I will explain about this phenomena on the next class. Thank you, students.